Hard Bargain by Zap Apple Smash. Lunaverse, Episode 12 by Rainbow Double Dash. Chapter 4, Deliberation. Ditzy was busy doing some housework, taking the time to take in the world until her mailman job was providing for her and Dinky. It wasn't fancy, but it was warm, mostly, and it provided them with everything they needed, so as long as they were frugal. But there was more to life than just surviving, and no matter what she felt about moving to Manehattan, what mattered most was providing for Dinky. It wasn't the money that mattered, but the quality of life that was the most important to her, and the quality of life she was providing to her daughter. Mommy! Ditzy was brought out of her thoughts by the feeling of Dinky giving her a hug. The gray mare brightened instantly as he returned the hug.
Hello, Muffin. Did you have fun with Sparkler?
The young filly then started to list off all the things the two sisters had managed to fit into their afternoon. About halfway through was when Sparkler made it to the apartment. Just remember to stop for breath, she teased. Dinky replied by taking in a deep breath and blowing a raspberry at Sparkler. Ditzy would have scolded her if Sparkler had blown a raspberry right back. Dinky then ran off to put away her school bag, giggling the whole way. The two older mares looked at each other and smiled as they rolled their eyes in a good-natured camaraderie. He then quickly looked away. Things were still awkward between the two mares, but they were getting better.
Hope she wasn't in any trouble.
It was wonderful, Sparkler assured her. I had a really great time.
That's good. Dinky had been looking forward to the day.
Yeah, me too, Sparkler replied. There was a moment of silence, this time a little less awkward. So, Dinky was telling me about Fluttershy today and how she helped with her bunny census.
Yeah, Fluttershy takes taking care of the animals around Ponyville seriously. Dinky likes to help out when she can.
Well, between helping out Fluttershy and being an assistant for the Night Course representative of Massachusetts, Dinky definitely leads an exciting life. Ditzy paused, thinking about Fluttershy, Trixie, and all the other things Ponyville had to offer.
She does, doesn't she?
At that moment, Dinky came back in.
Mommy, Sparkler taught me the sparkle charm she uses for her displays. Dinky, look at this!
Dinky's arm lit up as he prepared to do the spell. Sparkler quickly leaned over and whispered into Ditzy's ears, "Shield your eyes."
What?
The room was then filled with a blinding white light. Still a little strong, Dinky. Trixie led cheerily into her lounge. The teacher declined the offer for a drink. She made herself comfortable on the couch. All right, what do you want help with?
Did you know Big Mac was a bounty hunter?
Cheerily stopped to stare at her. How is this relevant to the policy you want my help with? In fact, how is that relevant with anything?
Relevant! Bounty hunters are nothing but a bunch of money-crazed scumbags!
Shirley pursed her lips. You know, my father used to have a bounty hunter license. She paused. I don't think he ever caught anyone, though. I think he just kept renewing his license because Mom liked it. I remember he would shake her flank out, saying, I've got your bounty right here. Then they send me to go play at the neighbor's house. The teacher then sighed when she saw the look of dismay and slight disgust Trixie was giving her. Look, I know that bounty hunting comes with a stereotype, but it is legal. Also, it's common practice for the big farms to have at least one employee with a valid bounty hunting license. Honestly, would you want to mess with a farm that had a bounty hunter? Especially one that looks like Big Mac?
This isn't just about precaution. Big Mac has collected.
Trixie levitated over the registry and opened it to the relevant page showing the bounty collections that had been paid out by the Ponyville representatives, including who they were paid to and the criminals that they were paid for.
Look at the top 3 payouts here in Ponyville. Hardball, Steel Beat the Griffin, Chuckles. All 3 were high-profile bounties with substantial paydays, all collected by Big Mac.
Shirley nodded her head as she looked at the list. True, though you know what else they have in common? All 3 were dangerous criminals hoping to hide out in Ponyville, she explained. I know for a fact that Chuckles had put at least 3 ponies in the hospital, and could have killed one of them if Big Mac hadn't stepped in. He was doing Ponyville a service,
and getting paid handsomely for it.
Oh, you are not going to play that card, Shirley scolded. Tell me, how big was our reward for stopping Corona again?
That's different.
Yes, because it was you getting the reward. Shirley rubbed the bridge of her nose. Look, I know this is somehow going to lead to you accusing Big Mac of having an agenda, so
Let's hear it. What if some pony has put a bounty on the elements? Trixie theorized. Big Mac might be trying to collect. Well, for a start, it would be illegal. Licensed or not, collecting a bounty that is not government sanctioned would lead you to potentially getting prosecuted for various crimes including abduction, harassment, assault, and trespassing, to name a few. If he was caught. And if he was suspected of taking private bounties, he would lose his license. Why are you so quick to defend him? Why are you so quick to condemn him? Shirley sought back. Look, I know you want to be cautious, but this has gone from being cautious to being paranoid. Maybe a little paranoia wouldn't hurt. Shirley closed her eyes and mentally counted to 10. Trixie, let me explain a little about how being a teacher works. I have a classroom full of young fillies and colts that I have to teach. You know what that means? She didn't wait for Trixie to answer. It means I have to leave all personal feelings and opinions I have about my students or their families at the door. What I do in that classroom could affect my students' future, so I don't get to hold grudges or suspicions. Hey, there's one student whose mother used to call me Smearly at school, but you can bet that I still give that student the same care I give any of the others. But, it's not easy, Shirley continued. I'm not perfect, and some days I find it damn hard to stay professional, especially after having to deal with some of the stuck-up know-it-all parents looking down their nose at me and thinking either I'm the one who should be raising their kids or that they know more about teaching than I do. But every once in a while, I deal with some pony decent, who wants to be the best for their family, but also trusts me to do my job. Some pony like Big Macintosh. Shirley didn't seem to stare right through the representative. Now, I know this whole thing is your way of trying to be a good friend, but just remember that tomorrow I have to look at Apple Bloom right in the eye and act as if a friend hadn't tried to prove to me that her brother is dirty and out to get me. Trixie stared and opened her mouth, not sure of what she was going to say, but then closed it when Shirley raised her hoof. Look, did you actually want my help, or was this all some scheme to talk to me about Big Mac? Trixie, slightly hurt by the accusation, realized she kind of deserved it, pulled out a vial and laid it on the table. You don't have to. Shirley gave Trixie a reassuring pat on the shoulder. I love helping my friends. What do you want help with? It was late at night at Sweet Apple Acres. Big Mac was the last pony up, poring over his file of active bounties. So far, he hadn't found anything matching the two he had seen in the market, but Caramel had done some digging. None of the local builders knew anything about a Manehattan-based construction company coming to Ponyville, and absence of a bounty didn't mean absence of guilt. He was brought out of his thoughts by a full mug of tea being placed on the desk. He looked up and saw the wise old face of Granny Smith smiling at him.
Shine your light on.
She looked at the papers.
Planning your next hunt?
Big Mac smiled gratefully before taking a sip. Yup. Granny Smith chuckled as he ruffled Big Mac's mane.
Just like a grandpa. Always keep your eyes open to make Equestria a better place.
She then took an empty chair nearby.
So, Apple Bloom told me you wanted to see Charlie today. Oh, did you hear about the job offer?
Yup.
So you take it?
No.
Well, no surprise there. Speaking from experience, once the mayor stakes a claim like that, there's little in this world for the next he'll get him to move.
I don't know.
The important thing is you tried, Granny Smith said. Besides, maybe it's for the best. I know you trust your connections in Philadelphia, but it's better to keep those things together, as they say. If you want something right, do it yourself.
Big Mac pointed to himself. Just one stallion.
Sonny, the day that you just went stallion is the day I'm a seeing old grandma.
Granny Smith paused.
Don't answer it.
The next day was another bright and sunny one as Ditzy headed to the post office, her spirit considerably lighter than it had been the night before. Ah, Miss Doo. Punctual as always. Ditzy turned to see Parley and Associates. I trust you had a good night. Did you think my offer over?
I did, Ditzy replied. And the answer is no.
Excellent. Now we'll have to leave soon, so I take a delivery of... Parley did a sudden double take. No!
Thank you so much for your offer, Ditzy said sincerely. But Yankee and I have a good life here in Ponyville, and I don't think now's the right time to move.
Parley stared at Ditzy, trying to process what he heard. Then he chuckled. Well, I guess we were kind of sort of teasing you. Tell you what, why don't we add another 50% to what we offered you before?
Sorry, but the money was never what was important to me.
Not important?
gears in Bartley's head started to grind. Well then, tell me, what is important? What can I offer you that will make you reconsider?
Is there a way I would be able to work from Ponyville?
Probably did not look amused. No.
Then there's nothing you can offer me. Ditzy turned to leave. Sorry to have wasted your time, but I hope you enjoyed your stay anyway.
Parley, looking even less amused, signaled Plata and Palermo. The two big stallions proceeded to box Ditzy in against the nearby wall. Parley also closed in, leaving Ditzy with no real means of getting away, aside from straight up. But considering how close the stallions were, they would be on her before they could fly away. Alright, I'll keep this simple. Have you ever heard the expression carrot and stick? Ditzy looked around at the three stallions as they were suddenly crowding her.
Yeah. There's a mule on my route who sometimes uses it.
Well, Ditzy, the job offer was the carrot. It's big, it's juicy, and 10 times better than anything a pony like you could ever hope to get.
I told you, I'm not interested.
Now, you see, the funny thing is, I don't care. My employer doesn't take no for an answer. Which means I don't take no for an answer. Which means you are going to Manehattan, whether or not you're interested. Parley closed the distance until he was almost touching noses with Ditzy. So, take the carrot, or else get the stick. Hey! Leave her alone! Ditzy and Parley looked for each other and saw post-haste landing there. Parley scoffed at a scrawny postal worker. Be it. My friends were just having a word with Miss Doo. Well, your word's over. Silver Script stepped out of the office, carrying a baseball bat that had the words love and tolerance on it. And if you don't leave right now, I'm going to love and tolerate the shit out of you. Parley weighed his options, but not really wanting to discount and turn physical. Alright, point taken. He turned back to Ditzy. I'll be at the room 6 at the Mayflower Motel, in case you change your mind. The Manehattan ponies then left. Once they were gone, Silver Script lowered the bat and went to check on Ditzy. You okay? Ditzy nodded. What do you want? Ditzy took in a deep breath to steady herself.
They wanted me to get a job in Manhattan, and when I told them no, they started to threaten me.
Silver Script nodded. All right, Ditzy. You're taking the day off. Ditzy opened her mouth to protest. No arguments. Post-haste will cover for you. Ditzy closed her mouth. You're friends with the Night Court representative, right? Ditzy nodded. Do you trust her? Ditzy nodded again. Oh, then come on. We'll make sure you get there safety. No arguments. Parley was muttering silently to himself as he spied Ditzy and the bat-wielding postal worker walking off from around the corner. Once they were out of sight, he turned back to Plata and Palermo. Got everything you need for Plan B?
Sí, a differencia de usted, realmente podemos ejercer referencia de pilotos.
I heard a C in there, so get ready. We're ready to leave this afternoon. I'm going to get these tickets at Saints. As Polenta and Palermo left, Parley pulled out the 2 tickets and looked them over for a brief moment. Ditzy Doo, you brought this on yourself. Trixie opened the door to see Ditzy and Silver Script standing there, the postmaster still coloring the love and tolerance bat.
Look, if this is about the time I try to reuse stamps, I promise it won't happen again.
The 2 postal workers stared at her for a moment. Silver Script went out a little cough. Actually, we're here because Ditzy needs a safe place to be right now.
Oh, right. Come in.
Silver Script turned to Ditzy. Now, you stay here and explain to the representative what's going on. I'm going to see if I can get some help with the creep problem. When I get back, we will go get Dinky for school. Stay here until then, understand?
Ditzy nodded before giving Silver Script a hug. Thank you.
Silver Script disengaged from the hug and opened his wings, ready to take off. Just looking out for my own. The postal worker then took off.
Ditzy?
There was obvious concern in Trixie's voice.
What's going on?
Ditzy sighed as he entered the house.
I'm not entirely sure, but I'll tell you what I know.
Silver Script landed at Sweet Apple Acres and saw Applejack bunking some nearby trees. The farm pony stopped what he was doing and came over to greet the postmaster, but immediately went into attack position when he saw the baseball bat Silver Script was still carrying. Line name Script! Don't you threaten me! Applejack said in a warning tone. I told you, we don't return apples you haven't used. I don't care if you must tell us how many you'll need for your bike sale. Silver Script stared. Actually, I'm here to see your brother. Is he here? Yeah, sir, I'll call him. Hey, Big Mike! Silver Script's here to see ya! Applejack glanced again at the bat. I think it's about that overweight package you tried to find! Big Mac came over, took one look at Silver Script and one look at L&T.
Worker being harassed.
Why does no pony else get that?
Big Mac held up a hoof, indicating the postmaster to wait a moment. The red stallion let out a sharp whistle, and soon Caramel came trotting up to him. Look, Mike, I know you're proud of that whistle, but there are better ways to call me. Caramel trailed off when he saw Silver Script carrying a baseball bat. Look, I know rent on the post office box is overdue, but I promise, if you wait till next payday, you'll get your money. Big Mac rolled his eyes as he started to lend Silver Script to a spot where they could talk in private. On the way, Silver Script took a quick look with Caramel. Just remember, I know when Queen Apple Acres pay their workers. If I don't have the money by the end of the next day, I'm coming for you. The postmaster had never been one to mince words, and was very quick to bring the two farm workers up to speed about the situation with Ditzy. From the description, it was obvious that the two of the three assailants had been the ones Big Mac and Caramel had seen at the market, but the two stallions decided to keep that fact to themselves for the time being. And that's all I know, Silver Script explained. Now, seeing as I technically work for the government, I would never ask you two to do anything illegal. That said, if you can find these scumbags and inform them that Ponyville isn't worth staying in, I would be really grateful. Think you could help? Big Mac and Caramel gave each other a meaningful glance before turning back to the postmaster.
Yep.
After seeing Silver Script off and telling Applejack where they were going, Big Mac and Caramel got out the saddlebags they carried for their bounty hunting gear. So, what's the plan? Caramel asked. Knock on the door and ask them politely?
Yep.
Big Mac fastened the badge that showed he was acting in official bounty hunting capacity. Caramel nodded, pretty sure this was going, but still feeling the need to check. And if they refuse?
Knock on their heads.
Big Mac paused before nodding, politely. Caramel nodded as the two headed to town. And this is why I like working with you.
Alright, class. Today, we are going to be taking a look at griffins.
Charlie pinned onto the side a picture of a griffin on the wall. The whole class seemed genuinely interested, possibly because not too long ago there had been an actual griffin in town.
Now, aside from appearance, one of the key differences between a griffin and, say, a Pegasus pony is the fact that griffins are primarily carnivores. Can any pony tell me what that means?
Before any of the foals were able to answer, a strange tube came carrying in through an open window, landing in the middle of the classroom. Suddenly, smoke burst out of the tube as soon as the classroom was filled. Panic broke out.
My little ponies! Stay calm! Cover your mouth and noses and fall! My voice!
Despite Charlie's best efforts, the sounds of screams and coughing became almost deafening as the terrified students tried to get out of the smoke-filled classroom. The ensuing chaos was the perfect cover for a figure to sneak in, his gray coat blending in almost perfectly with the smoke. Dinky was stumbling and blinding, trying to find her way through the smoke when suddenly she was grabbed and stuffed in a bag, her screams being drowned out by all the other frightened school kids. The figure held on tight to the bag and bolted out the door, running right past Apple Bloom, who had been trying to use her boat to cover her face, and being long gone before any pony came to investigate what the strange smoke was. Tracy opened the window as Ditzy explained to her about the strange stallions.
I wished you had come to me sooner about this.
The regret was evident on Ditzy's face.
But the important thing right now is to keep you two safe. Silver Script is right. You and Dinky need to lay low until we figure out who they are and how we can get rid of them.
Trixie started to pace, trying to come up with a plan of attack. These Manehattan ponies didn't seem like they were in the mood for talking. While she would do anything to keep Dinky and Ditzy safe, she was also well aware that she was currently 0-1 when it came to training blows with her ponies, and the last time it had only been against a musician. She was starting to regret having given Pokey the day off. Honestly, how important could a grandma's 80th birthday be?
The first thing we need to do is get Dinky out of class. The sooner, the better.
Ditzy nodded. She didn't feel like poking Dinky out of class, knowing how important an education was, but it wasn't worth the risk. She looked out the window to see if Silver Script was back yet, and saw smoke rising up. The weird thing, it wasn't coming from any of the nearby chimneys, but instead coming from the same direction as the school! Ditzy shot out the window before Trixie had a chance to stop her. When she arrived at the school, she saw all the students, as well as various adults, were outside, as the smoke were coming out of the school, starting to dissipate. Ditzy frantically looked around, trying to find her daughter. Finally, she found Charlie trying to calm down a bunch of students.
Well, where's Dinky?
I'm not sure. Charlie's voice was harsh from the smoking elation. trying to get the students out of class. Somebody set off a smoke bomb. I'm still trying to find everybody. Trixie, who had given chase, arrived just in time to see Ditzy flying into the school. Once inside, the gray mare frantically scoured the classroom, desperately calling out her daughter's name. Once she stopped, she heard something snap under her hoof. She looked down, and her breath caught when she looked at it. It was a stick, with Dinky's picture tied to it. Big Mac and Caramel, having seen the smoke as well, had instantly changed their route and arrived at the school shortly after Ditzy had. Big Mac scanned the area and found Nurse Redheart tending to some of the students, including Apple Bloom, who came racing toward him when she saw her brother.
Big Mike! It was terrible! She wailed. Miss Early was teasing us about Griffiths, and then a strange tear flew into the class, and then it was filled with smoke, and then...
The rest was drowned out into incomprehensible sobbing as Big Mac held her close.
It's okay.
Big Mac stroked Apple Bloom's mane, trying to console her. The two siblings stayed like this for a couple of minutes before Apple Bloom forced herself to back away slightly from her brother.
Oh, I think Dinky's in trouble.
What?
After the smoke started and I was trying to get out, I heard her suddenly scream, and then something big and gray ran past me. I haven't seen her since.
Big Mac and Caramel looked at each other. They quickly rescanned the surroundings. Couldn't see the young unicorn filly anywhere either. Caramel cursed under his breath, while Big Mac tried to formulate a plan. Every instinct was telling him to stay and take care of his sister. But he knew that there was a small window of opportunity to find Dinky that was rapidly closing.
Apple Bloom,
He was cut off by Apple Bloom staring up at him with big pleading eyes.
Big Mike, please, you gotta find her.
Big Mac scooped up Apple Bloom into another quick hug.
well, if you say yes.
He turned to Caramel.
Home, now.
You got it, boss. Caramel replied as he stood beside Apple Bloom. I'll catch up to her after I get here home. At the reassurance, Big Mac ran off, hoping to pick up the trail before it was too late. Instead, ran right into Charlie. I'm coming with you, Daisy said firmly. Don't you dare argue.
No time.
Big Mac replied as he hurried to find the trail, Charlie stopping only briefly to get some of the parents to watch over the remaining students. Charlie was lying on his bed, reading a magazine. He looked up and saw the door had been knocked clean off its hinges. Standing in what remained of the doorway was an extremely angry-looking Ditzy.
Where is Dinky?
Charlie got up from the bed and looked at the mangled floor.
Don't know what you're... I ain't paying for that.
Ditzy flew in and pinned the stallion against the wall.
Where is Dinky?
Parley, while not amused by the mailman's antics, did not feel the least bit threatened.
Listen, lady, you don't get made the calls. You gave that right up when you decided we had to do this the hard way.
So, unless you want us to mail that little brat back to you one piece at a time, who's off? Ditzy reluctantly let go of Parley and took a step back, looking like he was ready to strike.
What did you do to her?
Your daughter's fine. My associates are busy securing an alternate means of transport for her. Parley dusted himself off, more out for show. Now, I know here's the part where you threaten me. Ask what I want and demand that I give you your daughter back. Let's skip all that part and just move to the part where I explain what's going to happen. The train for Manehattan leaves in 1 hour. We'll both be on that train. You'll sit quietly in your seat next to mine. When we arrive at Grand Central Station, Dinky will be waiting for you with cotton candy and a big red balloon. Probably looked at Ditzy in the eye to let her know he wasn't kidding. Anything outside that plan results in Dinky not being your problem anymore. Ditzy let out a growl.
Your mother would be ashamed.
My mother is a senile old brat who I dumped at the nearest rest home first chance I got, the Senator replied. But now, is it really the time to be worried about my family problems? You've got a lot of packing to do. He then pointed to an imaginary wrist, watch on his wrist. Tick tock. Ditzy, angry beyond belief, but knowing there was nothing she could do, walked out without saying another word. She made it just out of the reception when Trixie ran up to her.
Thank goodness you're all right. You should have waited for me. I'm scared for Dinky too, but now's not the time to start flying in without a plan.
Trixie didn't notice that Ditzy was still walking off.
Where are you going? I need to pack.
Palermo watched from the shadows as Ditzy walked away from the motel, with Trixie chasing after her. He was about to continue following them and make sure Trixie didn't interfere, but found himself flung against the wall. Before the gray stallion had a chance to retaliate, Big Mac pinned her down and started to twist one of Palermo's forelegs in a way it wasn't supposed to twist.
Listen closely,
Shirley said to the pinned stallion.
we will ask questions, you will give answers. Understand?
Quit?
Right. You speak Calabrian.
Shirley cleared her throat before trying the interrogation again.
El juste attualmente furie hatse prolongos ye uste conferenza. Attende?
They said, noticed Big Mac looked there with a raised eyebrow.
What?
Shirley asked.
You've been around enough to know the benefits of being bilingual. Besides, who doesn't like a cunning linguist?
The two stared at the mayor.
Senor Loca,
Palermo muttered.
me gusta. Ah!
Big Mac responded by twisting Palermo's foreleg further.
Tracy made it back to Ditzy's place to see her filling up a suitcase. What are you doing? We have Dinky.
Ditzy didn't stop panicking.
And I'm on that train that leaves in less than an hour, Phil.
She couldn't bring herself to finish.
And you're going to go with them?
Tracy asked in dismay.
Ditzy, they smoked bombed a school. Who knows what they're capable of? Exactly. And right now they have Dinky. Look, I want to save Dinky too. But if you get on that train, you'll be playing right into their hooves.
Tracy argued.
Just stop it. Let's come up with a plan. If we get our friends together, I'm sure we can. There's no time.
Ditzy sat back close to Bag.
All that matters is making sure that Dinky is safe, and I won't gamble her life on some harebrained scheme.
She picked up the suitcase and started to head for the door. But Tracy ran in front of her and blocked the path.
Get out of my way. No! This is a very bad idea, and I'm not going to let you go through with it.
Tracy levitated the suitcase out of Ditzy's grip.
If you get on that train, it'll be too late for both of you.
Ditzy didn't try to get the suitcase, but instead just looked away in resignation. Tracy slowly approached the flying mare.
I know this seems hopeless, but if we just...
Tracy never got to finish, as Ditzy self collided with the side of Tracy's face. Tracy stood in a daze for a brief moment, before both her and the suitcase she had been levitating fell to the ground. Ditzy went to the laundry cupboard and pulled out a spare blanket and pillow. She put the blanket over the unconscious mare and carefully placed the pillow on her head.
I'm sorry,
she whispered, a single tear falling down her cheek, before picking up the suitcase and leaving.